everybody's had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting. If you have not done so, go ahead and do it now.
So there was a typo in the minutes that y'all reviewed. It said November of 20. Should have said November of 2022. That was my fault. I apologize. But Ms. Renee pointed it out, and it has been corrected in the minutes that we have.
I read it through, man, too. It must have been good.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are carried or approved. Got any public comments? No, sir. Nope. Okay. All right, we'll move right on to the site plan for DMT Surf City LLC.
So in your packet tonight is a proposed project located on J.H. Batts Road. It is 0.51 acres. The owner is James Malcolm Hall III. It is zoned commercial and is a proposed commercial use. The proposed project is for the construction of a storage and office facility. The proposed building is 7,500 square feet and provides 4 25 by 50 units and 1 50 by 50 office storage area. Access doors are provided to contain up to 5 25 by 50 units. Internal walls are not load-bearing and can be configured as needed. But the current use will have 4 individual and 1 double unit. The current office will support a landscape business with office and restrooms, overflow storage for a heating and air conditioning company, and 2 rental units. The proposed project will have an internal driveway connection to the adjacent heating and air company to decrease external traffic for the 2 units. That is not shown on your plan, but that will be at the back towards the existing storage units at the back, and will be a minimum of 24 feet wide to allow tractor trailers to pull in to the heating and air, come offload there, and come out, and hopefully decrease the amount of backing onto the road. Traffic is expected to have a minimal impact on the existing surrounding areas. The applicant will place a concrete driveway entrance to provide a stable ingress-egress, so hopefully that'll help with some of the rock being kicked on the road through that area. The project will provide a 5-foot wide sidewalk adjacent to the right-of-way. We will be providing sewer and water, and an additional fire hydrant will be provided to provide fire suppression. The applicant will provide a stormwater measures to meet Appendix A, Section 5.9, which is the town's stormwater, because they will not have to do the state stormwater permitting. The applicant is providing 9 parking spaces, with 1 parking space being handicapped parking, and does meet the minimum requirements of the town's ordinance for parking. They will also provide a 5-foot landscaped vegetative buffer around the building or around the site per our ordinance. The proposed buildings will provide 2 different sidings, lighting, and awnings to break up the large-scale appearance of the buildings. Based on the way that I read the ordinance, the primary is going to be the side with the roll-up doors, and the secondary will be the side facing the road, and then that back side that's like the back of the building facing where all the stone is right now. So staff recommends approval of the site plan. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Hey, this is Jimmy Campbell. The only thing I have to say is I like the 5-foot wide sidewalk, but to say bicycles are on there.
Nope, it's 5-foot sidewalk. It's just falling under the bicycle pedestrian heading. So the way my new reports have, there's just different headings that it falls under, so it is intended to be a sidewalk. The bicycle and pedestrian plan calls for on-road bicycle facilities there and sidewalks. As part of the East Coast Greenway Plan connector, we will be looking at the potential of a multi-use path along that road, and that would be determined where that would be once we get into the design phase.
Thank you.
Sorry for any confusion.
Amy, I'm a little confused on your elevations there. One's got the roll-up doors and a personnel door, and then the other one's got just personnel doors.
So the roll-up doors are going to be on the front of the building facing Gideon Heating and Air,
Yeah.
and the individual doors will be on the back facing
Okay,
the
I
Batt's
couldn't tell
property.
from looking at the plan,
It's not the best picture.
no. What are the little
They're coastal,
rectangles at an odd angle there?
the ones beside so you've got the coastal light fixtures going beside the doors, and then you've got like a little awning.
No, I'm talking about the plot plan, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
You got one that's kind of into the driveway.
That's a fire truck.
Oh, is that part of the plot plan?
So Burton likes to know that you can get all the way around with your 150-foot reaches and all of that, so that is the fire
On David, you
showing
couldn't
that.
figure that out?
I mean, I just knew what it was.
I couldn't tell what it was being marked all over. I had suspicions, but I didn't know.
They're fire trucks.
I'll have to remember to put fire trucks in all my drawings from now on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Move that we accept it as is.
So is this for the building too? Like the exterior, are we okay with that? It meets all,
If you would like more, this is the time to discuss it. As you know, the definition is upscale coastal.
Definitions what?
The definition is upscale coastal, and there is no definition. So our ordinance says that you have to meet upscale coastal design. I do my best to try to interpret that. That will be much more rigid of what that definition is in the ordinance rewrite that will be starting soon. But right now, it's upscale coastal.
So the back of the building, you'll see on J.H. Batts Road.
No.
This,
Yes.
Good.
yes,
Yes.
this part, the long, boring part you see from the road.
Front isn't very exciting either.
No.
Yes, all the sides will be seen from, except for the very back tiny little side, yes.
I mean, can we have them do something like that's on the front, on the back too, since it's also viewable from the road?
You can request that, yes.
Maybe put the awnings over the doors, something like that. We have a motion to approve. Do we want to stipulate to any further architectural comments?
I mean, I think we should make a motion to approve if they add something else to that back side, or whatever that side is called.
Okay. Is that something we can give you leeway in discussing with them?
Yes, sir.
I think that's a good way to do it. That way you can talk to them one-on-one about it. Okay, so we have, let's get a new motion then with that stipulation involved.
I make a motion to approve as long as they add something to the back of the building.
Okay, Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? We have a second through Randy. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion's carried. All right, next one is the annexation Pitt Hospital adjacent lot.
Tonight is a request to add zoning for the annexation of the parcel with the PIN of 4235-15-9613-000. The Town Council has requested that the Planning Board review the annexation petition and recommend an appropriate zoning classification. This property is located on the north side of the Surf City Pet Hospital as shown on your vicinity and zoning map. The surrounding property is zoned rural agriculture, MFC, and G1. This property was originally a part of the Sullivan property located northeast and west of the parcel. The parent parcel was annexed into town March 1st, 2022, and was zoned multifamily cluster. Pender County has zoned the property rural performance. This property is adjacent to the Surf City Pet Hospital and the Karen Beasley Sea Turtle Rescue and Rehabilitation Center, with both properties being zoned rural agriculture and allowing for the veterinarian use. The recently adopted Town of Surf City Comprehensive Land Use Plan future land use map shows this area as regional mixed use. The plan references the below list of desired uses, which does include commercial, retail, offices, and institutional, as well as employment centers, including manufacturing and light industrial uses. And what it does not like to see is medium to low density family or industrial and manufacturing uses that would have negative external impacts. The applicant has requested RA zoning. The zoning would be compatible with the adjacent property and allow for the expansion of the existing veterinarian hospital. Staff makes the following recommendation, that the property is recommended to be zoned as RA to council.
Amy, is there anything contemplated to go on it? Or is it just in anticipation of?
So right now, the veterinarian hospital, when they first approached, they don't have enough parking. I don't know if any of y'all ever go to that veterinarian hospital, but pretty much staff parks on the existing road coming in there, and, you know, the visitors use the parking. There's not enough room. So they plan on expanding parking over there, and they are considering the option of a pet crematorium.
What?
Crematorium.
So this would function as part of the animal hospital,
Yes, sir.
and now they're parking in the turtle hospital lot?
They're parking on Tortuga. So they're actually parking on the overflow is that road access. So this would allow all of their staff to move over there while allowing visitors to park.
How do they get approval to put the building there without adequate parking to start with?
Well, that was approved prior to me, and I have not looked at it. I would assume, though, that they met the minimum standard of parking. Just sometimes the minimum standard doesn't provide enough parking for a use. It's a fine line between being overparked and underparked. We should always be overparked.
Yeah, I have seen overparked too.
Yeah, you don't want a parking lot that nobody's utilizing just out there.
Most usually is retail for Christmas, and even then it's not fully parked. I move that we approve it.
Got a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion's approved to rezone to RA. Any updates for us?
We're trucking along on all the projects that have been submitted. We don't have any new big fun things coming up. I am working on the RFQ to get sent out so we can work with an engineering or a firm, a planning firm or whatever, to create our ordinance updates. We are also looking at, once we get a little ways down there, I'm asking for funding to create a standards and specifications for the town. We currently have that for sewer and water, but we want one that covers the whole town, so zoning, streets, sewer, water, incorporates fire, make sure that nobody's contradicting each other. So hopefully, once we get about 6 months into the rewrite, we would be able to move forward with that. The East Coast Greenway Project feasibility study has had their final meeting. We've received the draft report. We've asked for a few changes in there. They're working on those, so hopefully we will have that soon. We will be requesting funding through the town to potentially start funding part of that East Coast Greenway. For those who don't know or don't remember, the Greenway, the portion that we are studying starts at the Onslow-Pender County line at the canals and comes down, goes across the island, and ends up at Country Club in Hampstead. Obviously, we would only be funding what's in town, but the project is that long, and the Greenway obviously goes from Maine to Florida. And it's a portion of that. It would be a part of the East Coast Greenway and the Mountain to Sea Trail. Sir?
It'll be both.
Yes, sir. And then the DOT is looking at a feasibility study that goes from the bridge all the way into Topsail Beach for a multi-use path. So if ever everything got funded, there would be a multi-use path from Trout at Topsail Beach all the way up to at least the bridge in North Topsail. And then North Topsail would have to determine if they wanted to do a spur that goes on up into North Topsail.
Where in the world are they gonna put it?
That's a good question. There's going to be some engineering.
It's
Some
gonna take
review.
more than engineering to create space.
So yes, they're looking at all of that. Like I said, they're feasibility studies and they're looking at alternative routes.
In the coastal waterway.
On the,
can
they're
bore.
looking at 210, or they're looking at 50 going south. It would have to be on the waterway side of 50
Yeah.
because, obviously there's a dune on the other side that we can't cut
Where the
into.
sidewalk is.
So it would be looking at expanding that sidewalk 5 more feet.
So it'd be a hardscape, not a greenway.
What you guys doing there?
The Greenway typically has an asphalt
Assaulted.
surface for riding or whatnot, and the Greenway's the pretty grass on each side. And the Greenway, once you get kind of off the island and out of town, we are looking at options that go through the woods. One of the options that we're looking at for in town is going through the new park as a part of it. And then there are some off-road options being looked at and some connectors that would go off and potentially go like down the power lines or something like that to give you more of that Greenway feeling. Mhm. That's it.
Thank you. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn
So moved.
and a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right, meeting's adjourned, thank you.
I think they said they